motion to approve the open session minutes from June 27th.
No, because I have a couple things.
Okay, go ahead.
One, we took votes to approve the middle school and the high school improvement plans, and I don't see the votes on here.
We did.
You're completely right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And what's the other thing? I knew there was one other thing. See, I knew I should have written this. Oh, when it talks about, on page 4, the superintendent contract approval, it says the committee reviewed and approved superintendent, it should be no S there, Superintendent Willis's 3-year contract. We didn't. We approved her new salary
And extended the contract for 1 year.
and extended the contract
That's
for 1
right.
year.
That should be the language, more or less, yeah.
Okay, what is,
We approved the superintendent's,
Salary for fiscal year 2012.
right,
And extended the contract for 1 year through fiscal year 2014, Kathy? Yeah,
Right.
2014. Well, because of those are fairly major changes, you want to wait until the next meeting to,
right, because we needed to get who made the vote.
Right.
Motion and
right, okay?
that stuff.
Thanks, Ian.
So,
All right, so what we're going to do is table the minutes, the open session minutes from June 27th till the next meeting. We'll vote on it at that time with the corrections. We also have an executive session at 6:35 PM. I need a motion to approve the executive session minutes from June 27th. That's a 6:35 PM meeting.
So moved.
We have a second.
second.
Okay, a motion by Ms. Arricchetti, a second by Mr. Webster. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
To
Opposed?
the
None.
extent that I was present.
Present, okay, you can vote.
Yes.
You can vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we have a vote of 5-0 on the approval of the 6:35 PM executive session minutes. We also had a second executive session at 9:35 PM, so I'm going to ask for a motion on the June 27th, 2011 executive session at 9:35 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Webster, second by Ms. Arricchetti. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none. That motion carries by a vote of 5-0. All right, we have some informational. I think everybody received that mailing from the Middlesex Sheriff's Office.
I gave one back. It had said the chairman, I gave mine back. to
I
you.
think everyone got one.
Okay.
Yes,
Anything
everyone.
you want to say about that, Kathy?
I did not receive one, so I'm not quite sure what the contents of the
It was more or less an
envelope-
outline from the sheriff's department. Of course, we all know there's a new sheriff in town, and it was an outline of what he's done over the last 6 months to kind of revamp the sheriff's office, and a plan going forward for the next 6 months or the next year as to what he plans to do. There wasn't a whole lot, I don't think, related to the school department or the school committee, but just kind of, I don't want to say it was a political thing, but I think he sent it out, obviously, to all the school departments and probably the selectmen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was well done. I mean, obviously, he's trying to correct some of the problems that they had over there at the Middlesex Sheriff's Department, so. Okay. And, Kyle, do you want to speak on this agreed-upon procedures report that we had from the end of the fiscal year?
Yes, thank you. I can do so briefly. I'd like also, Mr. Chairman, if it's okay, it's always a chance for me to recognize the good work of the business office. This audit is an audit of the end-of-the-year report for FY10. They're a year behind doing these. I also remind the committee and the public that the auditor that comes in to undertake a study of our procedures and accounting practices is an auditor, a private auditor selected by the selectmen. It's not an auditor selected by the school committee. And it's a very intensive audit. If you look at the end-of-year report, the committee knows that it's over 1,000 rows long and 9 columns wide, so it's quite full of data. The report itself that this is auditing serves as the basis for per pupil spending and all of the data that you see on the DESE website. It provides information that the public can look at. We provide very detailed data. Just to give you one quick example, it's not unusual to see an employee of North Reading Public Schools who may literally be listed under 10 different account numbers, because that employee may be working at 4 different schools, may be working with different cohorts of special education children, which we have to break out that kind of work and that level of detail. This all is traced back to the end of the year report. So I'm always very appreciative and very pleased about this audit, because once again, it's near perfect. And the audit itself looks at the submissions that we make from our general appropriation. That's probably 90% of the report. But there's also a section of report that includes the submissions that are submitted by the town. Because remember, expenditures for the school department is not just the school committee appropriation. The town also absorbs school department expenses such as fringe benefits, things of that nature. So that's a separate section of this report. So they go through their procedures, and when they don't have a finding, they will use the phrase, "The amounts reported were materially correct." So that's what you like to see. Having said that, there are two findings here that I'll speak to and answer questions on.
Page 7, I
Yeah,
think,
page
guys,
7,
page
yeah.
7.
Page 7, under Procedure 10, there is a finding that notes that we placed the ARA dollars in the wrong cell. In effect, that's really what it's saying.
So that's a bookkeeping type thing, Kyle?
Well, yes, we reported them, but we reported them one cell over. That has no impact, by the way, on per pupil spending or foundation budgets or net school spending. It was corrected early in the process, so the data that you see on the DESE website includes the amendment that is made in this finding. That, by virtue of a discussion with our auditor, it's not considered a major finding, but they have to list it because it's an error.
There's one above that, Carl.
Number 9, Carl.
That was the one that I had a question on, number 9.
Number 9, just above it.
It's right there.
Yes, this relates to the town submission side. Retirement contributions are made directly by the town. What this is the county assessment. Employees that are not certified and not teachers or administrators are subject to the Middlesex County Retirement Board, not the Massachusetts Teachers Retirement System. And the amount that was submitted by the town was an error, as noted in this finding. The retirement contributions shown under function 5100 was overstated by almost $600,000. And that information has been reported to our finance department at the town. That has also been amended to make that correction.
So I had a question there. Is that going to artificially inflate our per pupil spending?
Yes, it will.
See, that's irritating to me.
That's a
Because
big number, too.
That's a big number.
It's a big number.
We have 2,700 students, and that's gonna increase our per pupil spending by that, whatever 2,700 divided into
Why is that a
is.
function of per pupil spending in the first place?
Everything is, everything
I know, but that seems like
I
it.
know. Retirement, everything's included.
Yeah,
But that's gonna have an impact of,
significant impact.
again, I'm trying
Well,
to.
we did the math. It's not quite as simple as dividing it by the number of students, but it's
Okay.
almost as simple.
Yeah.
And it's about a $200,
Yeah.
And then that gives a false impression of what we're spending per student.
yes, it does.
I'll remember that when the per pupil spending comes out, don't worry.
That will be updated on the DESE website. I checked and it hasn't yet been updated, but Mr. Webster is correct. Our per pupil spending is overstated by about $200 as a result of this finding.
Okay, any questions, any further questions from Kyle?
Nope.
Okay, Kyle, again, I agree, good job to the accounting staff and the
great
central
job.
office staff. It's a good report, other than that one discrepancy, really.
And that's the town side, so.
Which it wasn't a matter of monies, not being where they're supposed to, it was just
Right.
a matter of reporting it wrong. Future business, we do have meetings scheduled. Monday, August 22nd, at 6 PM, that's a goal-setting workshop. I'm assuming everybody can be there. And then Monday, August 29th, the regular school committee meeting. That will be the next and the last meeting prior to school opening. And then Monday, September 12th, at 7 PM. Right now, we don't have any executive sessions scheduled for either of those meetings.
That's correct. If anything should come up with collective bargaining,
We'll have to post.
we might have to post.
Okay. Anything else, Kathy, that you wanted to add?
That's it for this evening.
I just wanted to make one clarification. I'm not normally known as being politically correct. And I did just want to be clear about my statements regarding the MSBA. I'm not criticizing the MSBA. I'm not criticizing what they bring to the table. It's just frustrating because we as a community have, I think, done a great job, and I think Jerry would agree, on bringing our building projects in a timely fashion. And it does get frustrating, at least to me, because I think the process can move faster. But I understand why they're in place. They're in place to ensure that there aren't any more projects that run over by 20, 30, 40%, that are poorly constructed and that misuse state money. So I perfectly understand
Yeah.
why they're in place.
It may be
It's just a
premature, but having
frustration.
done this with the batch and then doing it now with the high school project, I agree, Mel. There was a time that we were saying, geez, let's move this along, let's move this along. But for some reason, I feel more secure and comfortable in this procedure because it just seems like we have a lot of professional people in
Right.
place.
No, and I
you
think
know.
that's good.
And the other, with the batch, we were kind of on our own,
Right.
you know, so.
Right.
Yeah.
That validating, I think,
Yeah.
works in our favor
Right.
as far as making the rest of the town feel comfortable.
Correct.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, we have a motion by Mr. Webster, second by Ms. Saraketti. I want to note that it's not even dark out yet. And all those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries by a vote of 5-0.